It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. On today's program, my friends, I am playing some music from Supertramp. This is a band that I have enjoyed hearing every time that I have featured them here on the channel. And when I heard about Rick Davies passing away now a couple months ago, it really was devastating to me because I'm just getting to know these bands, y'all. So these relationships with the people and their music, they're new for me. I can only imagine how many of y'all who have been fans of these musicians for decades, how you must feel now when many of them are passing. So we've heard on the channel the Fool's Overture, the Logical Song, Goodbye Stranger, Brother Where You Bound, and on Patreon, on my Patreon, all the way back on in our Extended Play Lounge 14, which was in February of 2022, y'all. So more than 3.5 years ago. we featured the entire Crime of the Century album, and it's been a long time since I went back and watched that episode, and I found it just wonderful. The music is fantastic, y'all. It's the band's third album from 1974, and everything really just fit together in that album. It was a really special effort. And even though I've enjoyed all of the music that I've heard from this classic British rock band, I just haven't featured them as often as I should here on the channel. And like I said, when Rick, who was the band's founder, one of the main vocalists, keyboardists, one of the main songwriters, when he died back in September, it struck me as like, man, they're I need to, I want to learn more. I wish I had more time to develop those relationships while he was still here, you know? So I wanted to pay proper tribute to him and his music here on the channel, and we're finally doing that today. So I thank you for joining me for this. I think it's going to be lovely and quite cathartic and wonderful. I am going to be sharing some footage from my reaction and first time listen to two of the songs that Rick wrote or co-wrote and that he sings on in Crime of the Century. We're going to hear Bloody Well Right and the title track, Crime of the Century, which closes the album. And the footage that you're going to see is, like I said, over 3.5 years old. The background is completely different. As I recall, we were relatively new in this space, and I didn't have everything kind of maturely set. The stuff that you'll see in the video is actually still on the wall, but it's right here in front of me, so I can enjoy it still. So let's get to it, friends. We're going to hear some music by Rick Davies and Supertramp. It's going to be Bloody Well Right and Crime of the Century. What I was going to say at the very beginning is that all of the songs listed officially were by Hodgson and Davies, but as I read in, different songs were written in really much individually by one or the other, and it kind of goes by how they're singing. This one, School, was written by both of them. It's one of the ones that was co-written, and Hodgson was the lead vocal on it. As I read in, Hodgson was the one that started writing it, and Davies wrote the piano solo and most of the lyrics to it. Well, let's keep right on going, y'all. The next song is called Bloody Well Right, and I believe this is a Davies tune. They tell me this was on the radio, and I will see if I recognize it or not. Let's hit it. Here we go. All right. Dun, dun, dun. All of a sudden, it's like Hall & Oates. Damn. They're a half step higher, B flat, than they were in the previous song. That sounds like a Fender Rhodes all day long, right? This is cool, but I don't recognize it so far. Tasty. Really neat sounds. They're just over a B flat chord, just toggling a fourth suspension. Over the top of that B flat, just toggling that. Well, that relates to the previous song, so you think your schooling is phony. I would agree with that. Our access to education is largely dependent upon resources.
You're bloody well right. You got a bloody right to say.
Gosh, in the deep recesses of my mind, I think I've heard this hook before, but man, I'm unfamiliar with it.
You're bloody well right. You know you're right to say.
My half steps. B flat, C, back to G, B flat, F, G. Cool. Write your problems down in detail, take them to a higher place. You've had your cry, no, I shouldn't say whale. Meantime, hush your face.
In the meantime, hush your face. Right, right. You're bloody well right. You got a bloody right to say. Right.
We'll add a tin piano up there.
You know you got a right to say. You're bloody well right. You know you're right to say. You got a right to say. You got a bloody right to say.
Saxophone coming in. You got a right to say what? You've got a right to complain about society not being fair. So you think your schooling is phony? You say it all depends on money? Well, you're bloody right. What's your point? I guess that's the point, or that's the point of view of the song. It's like, yeah. This world, at times, a lot of times, can be pretty ruthless and unfair, and it depends on wealth and not your character or what your potential is, or your potential is determined by your access to resources, access to information, and all that sort of stuff. One more. And the band says this is the strongest song on the album, When I read in, it says this band, the band regards this as the strongest on the album. It came together when they were together at this farm where they were immersed in writing the album, and this bounced around between both Rick and Roger for a few weeks before it finally took form. So this is one, I think, where they both wrote it, and I think Davies does the lead vocal on this one. And it's a long tune, and there's not a lot of words here, y'all. So let's see what the title track, saving it to the very end, sounds like. This is Crime of the Century by Supertramp. Here we go.
Now they're planning the crime of the century. Well, what will it be? Read all
Major D,
their schemes and
minor 5, 7, 5, 7, 4 to 3, then a Lydian over that. You get to listen to what they're doing. How they've gone from bad to worse.
Who are these men of lust, greed, and glory? Rip off the mask and let's see. But that's not right. Oh no, what's the story? Look, there's you and there's me.
Just thinking, y'all. I'm wondering if they're gonna get to any more lyrics, because they're done with the lyrics, and there's more than half the song left. So is it like rolling the credits? It's harsh, right? Now it's got some Pink Floyd-ish vibes in there. Now they're planning the crime of the century. Well, what could it be? Read all about their schemes and adventuring. Yes, well, it's worth the fee. So roll up and see as they rape the universe how they've gone from bad to worse. Who? So who's doing this? Who are these men of lust, greed, and glory? Rip off the masks and let's see. But that's not right. It's just you and me. That can't be right. Are they right? It's not poor Rudy. Poor immature Rudy in the insane asylum just trying to get his life going, you know, on a day-to-day basis, that is responsible for any of the ails and ills of society. This is hypnotic. A minor. Down third. Back to A. I'll use a progression like this when I'm doing my meditations on piano, when I'm in a minor key, because the A minor chord can never has to leave. It's an A, C, and E. You just put an F on the bottom, and you can still play in an A and a C and an E up here. It just goes back. And it's just motion without movement. It's a gutsy thing to do, to get to your last song and have it just be, yep, here's what we learned, and now you're going to live with it while we play you out for about, several minutes. Just as an aside, that being such an old clip, it was also before I got my good microphone, my Shure microphone. So that was filmed just on an iPhone, friends. So that's why the sound of it is a little bit different. It's really great to go back and hear some of those early extended play lounge episodes, because as we started the Patreon in those extended play lounge episodes, which feature full albums, we were getting to some of the most important albums that our prog rock and fusion and classic rock and metal and all-encompassing community really, really wanted me to hear. So the first couple dozen of those are just really special albums, and they continue to be. We now have over 100 of them on our Patreon, and I invite you to become a member of the Patreon community that we have over on our Patreon and in our Discord. It's really, really special. So it was wonderful music, right? It is wonderful music. And this album, Crime of the Century, it was this effort, their third album, that brought Rick and the band really widespread critical and commercial success. Rick, as I read, was a working class kid. And as far as his musical skills go, he was largely self-taught. And it was Rick who placed an ad in Melody Maker in August of 1969. And it was Roger Hodgson who answered the ad and auditioned. And Roger and Rick would go on to develop great chemistry as songwriters and as collaborators. They shared songwriting credits, and they also shared opportunities to front the band as the lead singer. And, after this album, fast forward a few years, we get Breakfast in America. That would come in 1979, which is still, I think, their biggest commercial success as an album. And, although Roger would end up leaving the band in 1983, Rick stayed with it and kept the band going, and really, I think, was the band's only consistent member from beginning to end until his death earlier this year. And as I was going back and watching this episode that we saw these reactions from, one of the more unique qualities that I find in the music of Supertramp is their uncanny ability to kind of be, are they a classic rock band or are they a pop band? They're not really a prog band. I mean, they occasionally have some really interesting sounds that remind me of that, but really, is that age-old question, is it a rock song, is it a rock band, or a pop band? And there's some consternation that goes along with the difference in that labeling, and they seem to ride that line pretty well with music that sounds wonderful, and I think that it comes down to the unique flair and color that they have. I mean, we get this really unusual pairing between the private school educated, really high celestial tenor, Roger, you know, compared with the working class, the more gruffy baritone Rick. And they ended up being just one of these pairings in personality and in the way their musical expressions were able to coexist. They just seem to make each other better. And we're better for it because these songs, the ones that I've heard so far, are just wonderful. I love hearing their music, and I'll continue to look into their music and learn this band's discography. And I want to continue looking into some of Rick's personal solo music as well. But for today, I'm going to say thank you, my friends, for hanging out with me and paying tribute to Rick Davies. Rick, rest in peace, and thank you for all of the wonderful music. That's going to be all for me today, my friends. Thank you for being with me. We'll see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.